All right, so there's an impending issue for Eastern Australia and the northwest part of North America. A lot of people would have already heard about it, and it's a make or break sort of situation. The environment's going to do what it's going to do, the atmosphere is going to do what it's going to do. I'm talking about El Nino. The scientists are saying this is going to be the most powerful one we've ever had. So what I kind of wanted to do is explain a little bit about what it will affect, which parts of the world it will affect, which is virtually everywhere, but some a lot worse than others, and what's different about this one. And it's not all good, it's not all doom and gloom, especially here in Australia. We might get a bit lucky with this El Nino, and we've got a horrible history with them. So the way that El Nino works is the wind pattern across the Pacific Ocean normally runs from east to west. So that's pushing wind and warm water towards Australia, Eastern Asia, and it pulls up as all that warm water pushes across the Pacific Ocean. It pulls up most around Indonesia and PNG. That's where the water is the warmest, and that's the normal circumstance. So there's also La Nina, which I won't go into right now because it's the opposite of El Nino. The normal circumstance is that those trade winds, they're called the trade winds, that run from east to west across the Pacific, are pushing the warm water towards Australia and Asia, and we have warmer water on this side generating rain for Eastern Australia, and then you get the normal wet seasons that you get around the tropics of Northern Australia and Indonesia and Malaysia and etc. So because with El Nino, the trade winds weaken. The winds that come across the Pacific Ocean from the Americas towards Australia and Asia weaken. So that means that warm water that is normally sitting on the western side, sitting around in Indonesia, starts to spread back out, and it spreads back across the Pacific Ocean in a way that means that as the water is warmer, it evaporates more easily. It'll reach the temperature that it needs to get to evaporate more easily if it's already warm. So when we have that warm water on the western side of the Pacific, we get the rain that generates all this beautiful country, Darug country we're on here. And then we have El Nino, and those winds coming in from the east stop, and it goes dry. In the northwest of North America, you have similar conditions. You'll have drought conditions, which is a serious issue with the rising temperatures, with the water stored in the snow caps of the mountains in a lot of parts of northwestern North America, around sort of Washington State and British Columbia. So you're going to have water supply issues there. We may very well have water supply issues here too, but here there's a silver lining, which I'll explain in a second. I'll just quickly explain as well the other effects that the warm water spreading out across the Pacific Ocean will have. On the west coast of South America, countries like Peru, you'll see a lot you'll see hotter days, and you will see thunderstorms. You'll see heavy rain. India, instead of having its normal sort of sustained monsoon season, is likely to see short droughts followed by floods. None of this is good for agriculture. This is something that we kind of, like, regardless of the environmental factor, we grow our food in these places, and they need water, and they need the right conditions. The grounds need to be in the right conditions. This is something that governments and we as a global society need to act on ASAP. Message your local politician or whatever. I already have. This is something that needs to be addressed ASAP. We are going to have water problems. In Europe, obviously, they're already having what they're calling this flash drought, because the temperatures are so high that the water is evaporating too quickly. Even they're getting normal rainfall, they can't sustain the water. So we're going to be having problems with water and just extreme weather, across the world, and high heat, obviously. Mark my words, it'll hit 50 degrees in Western Sydney this summer. at least once. But the silver lining, I've kept you, hopefully I've kept you watching with that silver lining that I've been talking about. So because the ocean is so warm, there's something strange happening that's only really just becoming apparent, or hopefully this will stick around. Although all the warm water is moving over towards the Americas as the trade winds have weakened, so moving across the Pacific, which leaves us with cooler water that evaporates less easily, leaving us with a drought, which is what would normally happen. But because the ocean's so warm at the moment, in general, there's a lot of patches of warm water off eastern Australia that could mean that we could actually have an okay spring, get an okay amount of rain, and yeah, things will be better for the farmers, better for the landscape. So yeah, fingers crossed on that one. Yeah, by the way, if you watched my last video, you might have remember that I mentioned making a video about the history of Aboriginal Tasmania. I'm gonna take my time a little bit with this one because it's something that needs, as I mentioned, it needs to be done properly. So it's not gonna be my next video, but it will be coming.